Good morning, welcome to the Pranksy bus at NFT.London. I'm joined this morning by my colleague Leon Hurd. We've been having a great time at NFT.London, so how's it been for you, Leon?
Yeah, no, absolutely, I can't agree more, Nicola. It's been wonderful just to see all the different inspiring people operating in the NFT space. Just seeing the level of maturity in the market is quite phenomenal. Something that really strikes for me is that the fact that we're in a bear market, but there are so many people still really positive about the growth of the NFT industry, blockchain broadly, Web3 generally. I just think it's super exciting and you can feel the energy in there really.
Yeah, you can. Talk to us a little bit about what your practice is and what you do that links into the NFT market.
The way that I start to capture it is we do kind of a reg tech check, if you will. The thing that a lot of people operating in the NFT space need to understand is that there may be regulatory tripwires. There may be compliance issues that they need to be aware of. And those issues need to feed in at the very start of their projects into the structuring so that they develop compliance structures and implement proper governance regimes that enable their business to have the solid platform it needs to attract customers, attract investors, and just be a safe forum for whatever transactions they're trying to do. My area of expertise is historically one of financial regulation, financial crime compliance. And although it's probably a million miles away from the tech sector in terms of, I'm not chasing criminals around the world to retrieve ill-gotten gains, that sort of careful kind of compliance piece that I've always advised on lends itself perfectly well to NFT businesses. We helped ensure that whatever they're doing either fits well within the regulatory perimeter, is in a compliant manner, or if they're trying to be outside of the regulatory perimeter, we can work quite closely with clients to try and structure their businesses so it does that safely.
Yeah, so I suppose there's so many regulatory issues that people can trip up on in the NFT space, with the free airdrops and free price competitions, issues, etc. Plus then just the general global regulatory space. So what would be your top tips to an NFT business?
I think the very first thing they need to do is really ask themselves, what is this NFT doing? Is it a piece of art? Is it some form of utility in a metaverse? Because what it's doing and what you're expecting the customer to pay for will very much set the parameters of what that activity is and whether or not it's going to fall to be regulated. My other top tip, you've rightly pointed that it is, and I think it goes back to the same point actually, is there gamification involved? Because that's going to engage another regulatory regime. And where are you doing it? Because I think the common misconception for people entering into this space is that they only need to focus on one jurisdiction, one country, that's where they're operating from. But that's just not the case. You've got to really think carefully about where will this product reach, where might my end customers be, and what rules do I need to be mindful of in terms of delivering that product to them. For me, it's kind of that location piece and that really granularly understanding what is this NFT that I'm selling doing.
So in terms of risk and reward and stuff, people say, I've set up the business offshore, tax, I don't need to worry about, the regulators coming after me, I don't need to worry about the SEC, the FCA, because I'm not operating in those countries. What would you say to them?
Well, I'd say think like that very carefully. Quite frankly, the extraterritorial reach of most regulators and law enforcement agencies is a lot further than you think. If in substance what you're doing is being carried on from or within a jurisdiction, they will find a way to bring it within their territorial scope. Just by way of example, if you have a business that's established in the BVI and you're pitching that out to customers all over the world, but you've got senior directors and managers in England, you better be sure that the FCA is going to say that's operating from or within the UK. It falls within my territorial scope. And I think it's going to be a similar position for many of the other developed countries' regulatory regimes. So when you talk about America or Hong Kong or Singapore, they're going to have similar themes.
I suppose the benefit is you've worked offshore for a financial crime prosecutor, so you see things through the eyes of a prosecutor, not necessarily through the eyes of a normal lawyer that wouldn't have that sort of industry experience.
I think it helps me, if I'm being honest with you. I kind of know the stress points that a prosecutor or any kind of public body is going to be thinking about, safety for members of the public, particularly vulnerable members of the public that might be induced and might end up losing substantial money. And of course, there's the whole money laundering piece. One of the big issues for most countries is they don't want to be a place where illicit funds are washed in and out through their banking system. And so all of these things will be really important for regulators.
So what do you think about NFT projects that are aimed at children? So, like Neopets and some of the other projects that are like cartoon type projects that are aimed at children and stuff. suppose there's extra stress there in terms of safeguarding.
Yeah, of course, and I won't profess to know all the ins and outs of every regulatory issue that pertains to children, but you've got to be careful. I mean, I think there's a place for it, and ultimately we are modernising as a society, and our children are going to ultimately engage and learn through tech, through NFTs, and through other assets within the metaverse, I imagine. So we've got to be alive to it. We've got to find a way to make sure we can develop those businesses in a compliant way. Absolutely.
Okay, so what are you most looking forward to over the next couple of days at NFT.London?
It's so difficult to kind of get a clear list. So many talks. I'm actually quite interested in a tax talk on soul bonds, so that could be quite interesting.
Well, I hope you have a great day. Thank you, Leon, for your time. Good to speak.
Thank you.